Imagine this. The unthinkable happens. The North Pole swaps places with the South Pole, a world turned upside down, the Earth itself defying its very own rules. It's not just a simple shift. We're talking about an environmental catastrophe. The poles aren't just places, they are critical to Earth's balance. If they swapped, the entire planet would face chaos on an unimaginable scale. First, the magnetic field. Earth's magnetic field, which protects us from solar radiation, is linked to the poles. A shift would throw the planet's magnetic forces into disarray. Navigating would be a nightmare. GPS systems? Useless. Planes and ships could lose their bearings, plunging us into uncertainty. Then there's the ice. The North Pole is floating ice, while Antarctica is land covered by ice. If they swapped, huge chunks of ice would melt, flooding the oceans. The sudden rise in sea levels would swallow coastlines. Cities from New York to Jakarta could be underwater in decades. The climate. Oh, the climate. Right now, the South Pole cools the southern hemisphere, while the North Pole stabilizes the weather patterns in the north. A swap would drastically alter global wind currents, ocean currents, and temperature regulation. Hurricanes, tornadoes, and unpredictable storms would become the new norm. In the north, temperatures would plummet to the extremes of the Antarctic, freezing ecosystems and pushing animals and humans into unthinkable living conditions. While the south, now exposed to relentless sunlight, would see temperatures soar, turning it into a desert wasteland. The animals? They wouldn't make it. The polar bears at the North Pole, adapted to a cold, ice-covered habitat, wouldn't survive in the South's freezing deserts. Meanwhile, penguins, who thrive in the cold, dark Antarctic winter, would be lost in the new, sweltering Arctic. And the people. We'd face food shortages, crops wouldn't survive the dramatic climate shifts, and entire populations would be displaced. Nations would crumble under the pressure of mass migration. Entire ecosystems would collapse. The political, economic, and social chaos would be catastrophic. Borders wouldn't matter anymore. Survival would. Countries would struggle to maintain order in a world that no longer makes sense. It's not just a pole swap, it's a planet in turmoil. The Earth would never be the same. Life as we know it would be transformed. This isn't a theoretical question, it's a glimpse into what could happen if the natural forces we depend on decide to betray us. A world where nothing is stable, nothing is predictable. So let's be thankful that the poles stay where they are, but if they ever were to swap places, the consequences would be beyond anything we could imagine. The Earth is a delicate balance, and tipping it could change everything we've ever known. Think about it. Think before it happens. Like and subscribe for more unreal content that can become a real one.